Hey, what's up everyone? This is Snicked, and welcome to episode 3 of the Dungeonmaster Let's Play series for the new Royal Revolt 2 update, which just rolled out today, Monday, September 15th. Making our way further down into the dungeon, if you look at the previous videos in this series, you'll see that we attacked the Ogre in the Behemoth Chamber number 1, followed by the Gargoyle in the Grotesque Grotto number 1, and we've now made our way down to the Mummy. We're going to be attacking him in the Crypt of the Living Dead, number 1. So we'll go in here, and the food is starting to get pretty significant. I would say the Mummy is, what, maybe about a third of the way in? Maybe not even that. I don't know, right around 20 dungeons, or 20 raids down into the overall dungeon. And we're already up to 277 food. So as I mentioned in previous videos, we started out on the first raid in the dungeon at 22 food, and now we'll say about a third of the way into the overall dungeon environment. We've gone up over 10 times that, and we're at 277 food, which is more than an individual that's at max level, really, or like say a level 100, for example, you know, where they have to pay 250 food to raid someone. This is 277, so things are just going to continue to, I think, escalate here, and by the time we get down toward the bottom, we're going to be looking at spending an entire silo on a single raid, which is going to either require a ton of time, a ton of gems, or some combination therein. So the pace is going to slow down pretty dramatically as we get into those lower tiers, those lower strata of the dungeon, where those of us who are not willing to spend, you know, a boatload of gems, frankly, are going to, things are going to really slow down for that contingent of the Royal Revolt 2 player base, which describes just about all of us. So anyway, 277 food, level 1 for the Mummy. Should be a relatively simple base, and the level 1 Mummy is going to be relatively easy for our hero as well. Just delving over here into the troops, we want to have a look at the Mummies Stats. Poison damage is what he deals out, 185 at level 1, and he has 3,600 hit points. So he has more hit points than any other troop in the game. More than the Mortar, which has been the highest up until the update at 3,230. Higher than the level 1 Ogre at 3,300. And higher than the Werewolf, which we haven't unlocked yet, but at 3,250. So the Mummy is the strongest player, or the strongest troop defensively in the game, and as far as his hit points are concerned, and deals out 185 poison damage, which isn't too far off of the amount of poison damage that a level 5 Mortar deals out at 216. So it might be comparable to like a level 4 Mortar, but this is only the first level for the Mummy, and I think the Mummy goes up to level 3. So that's going to escalate pretty significantly. And anyway, looking here at the at his stats a little bit further, he's a melee character, has the same range of attack as like a paladin at 1. Also the same range of attack as a hero, so he has to get him really close. He's resistant to piercing, so we're not going to be bringing our blasters along, and he's resistant to poison, naturally, because that's what he deals out. So mortars aren't going to be so good as well, but our Pyromancers will do a great job. So I'm going to be bringing along cannons, Frosters, and Pyromancers. Should be pretty easy, but I'm going to try to solo the base. And maybe if I get about midway in, I'll spawn a Pyromancer or 2 just to see how they handle it. Alright, so here comes the Mummy. He's humongous. Let's see what he does to me. Not a lot of damage. Okay, and he died. Alright. He was pretty fast, and you can see that he did deal out a little bit of poison damage. There's a little poison halo around me. So I'm going to now spawn some Pyromancers, and hopefully we encounter another one. Call them up here to me. Here they come. I'll let them go ahead, and we'll see how they do. Okay, so that 50% susceptibility or weakness to fire, actually, it looks like the Pyromancers fared pretty well against him. 50% isn't that big of a deal, but it is enough to make a pretty significant difference. And I have attacked a couple of high-level bases of players today who I believe have already gotten to the bottom of the dungeon and maxed out everything. It's going to require a huge expenditure of gems to accomplish. But anyway, it seems that they maxed out everything, and in doing so, they got up to, you know, an ogre level 5, a mummy level 3, the werewolf, and the mummy is exceptionally strong and exceptionally powerful. All the monsters together are exceptionally strong. So that was quite an experience dealing with a you know, waves that are filled with monsters, and that kind of reinforces or renews the argument that we'll definitely want to. So I've unlocked the mummy here. That's cool. But you'll want to, and it's a long haul, and it takes a long time to get up there. But we will want to get to a morale of 40 in your waves, which is the max amount. And again, it takes an extraordinarily long amount of time, a lot of gems, a lot of gold, even if you're not using gems, and all of that. So you know, many players won't be able to get to that point for weeks or even months down the road, just with all of the upgrade cycles. But that's something that you want to press toward and stay really on top of upgrading your waves, because of the morale that's required in order to use an ogre, use a mummy. Gargoyles aren't too bad. Gargoyles have a morale of 4. Okay, so just unlocked those, and we'll jump over here into the Troop Academy real quick to look at these. So the ogre, I have him up to level 2 now, and he's at 12 for morale. Notice here, where'd it go? The ogre. Oops. Okay, so the ogre is at 12, and the gargoyles are at 4, and so the gargoyle is comparable to, say, the Arblaster or the Pyromancer in terms of the morale cost. And then the mummy, as you can see here, is 14, and then from what we know from the sneak peek from Flare and the screenshots we've seen, the werewolf is 16. And so consider that the max level of morale in a wave is 40. There aren't that many monsters that you can squeeze into a single wave, but you know, if you have 1 mummy and 1 werewolf in a wave, that's 30 morale. And I'm not suggesting that you do that, but it's a huge expenditure of morale. It takes up a ton of morale, and morale is in your waves, your Castle Gate waves, take an exceptionally long time to upgrade. So just a public service announcement there to stay really on top of upgrading your waves, because you're going to need those morale points as soon as possible in order to remain competitive now with the advent of the monsters in the game, and especially being able to use them over here on the PvP side. So let's see, unlock the mummy, 250. Okay, and I was hoping that would be like 5 million for the werewolf, but it'll be 500,000, so we're not going to argue about that. So that's it for the mummy. Hopefully you guys found that interesting and helpful. If you have any comments about that or any of the other monsters, let me know out here on YouTube, or you can certainly get in touch with me on Facebook. Thanks again for watching.